So is my mic recording and yours is not?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
I reset it, though.
okay.
Did you listen to that episode that I sent you, though?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was going to, and then I never got around to doing it.
Uh-huh. That's
I
fair.
just wanted to listen to it to check the levels of stuff. But if you say
Yeah.
it's fine, then it's fine.
I mean, it's fine enough. I don't, I'm sure there's more I could be doing.
Yeah.
I just,
it's
leveled
okay.
us generally. Put some filters on.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a bunch of buzzing all over the place.
Yeah.
But that's about it. All right. Want to get into this?
Sure. What
Let's
movie
do
did? Well, hi everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome
Jared.
back. I guess I'm Kevin.
Yeah. You guess you're Kevin.
Yeah.
All right.
Too tired to know for sure.
Uh-huh. All right. This episode we're talking about time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bouts in this episode.
Yeah.
Or how about this is about time, which is the this movie is the 2013 Richard Curtis movie. The synopsis from IMDb is, first off, terrible in my opinion, but goes like this: at the age of 21, Tim discovers that he can travel in time and change what happens and what has happened in his own life. His decisions make the world a better place by His decision to make the world a better place by getting a girlfriend turns out not to be as easy as you might think.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible. I don't know what it's talking about, to be honest.
Yeah, and why is it talking to us at the end? It might not be as easy as you might think.
Yeah, I think we should ignore that. That was a
Right.
terrible synopsis.
Yeah. Screw you, IMDb. What are you even good for?
Bunch of hacks.
Yeah, so this is my movie to pick. I picked it first kind of as a change of pace. Second, because I really do like this movie. I don't think it's maybe a great movie. I think it's a personally great movie for me. I have a lot of fun in it, and it's very rewatchable to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember how I found it. I think I found it recently after it came out. I think maybe just a trailer I watched.
I remember watching the trailer in the movie theater
Yeah.
for this movie.
And I think, I just watched the trailer, and I don't even remember if I watched it in theaters. I would say probably not. But I might have. Can't remember.
That's
all right.
great.
What about you? First impressions?
This is, it's a romantic comedy movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of hits a lot of the romantic comedy beats. I don't love rom-coms just in general. I think a lot of them are, I just get kind of bored. I think it has to have drama
Yeah.
to be interesting.
There was drama in there.
There was drama in it. I think it's actually remarkably light on drama. A lot of things.
Yeah, it's not super high stakes.
No.
Nobody's life is really on the line, and there's not some
yeah.
big quest you need
Right.
to.
Right. There's no through line really, other than that. Like in the beginning, whatever. Donald Gleason's character, was that close enough?
Donal. Yeah.
Donald Gleason's character
Named Tim.
named Tim. That's
Uh-huh.
easier. Let's call him Tim. He
I
says
don't know. I think Donal's pretty easy.
no. So he says that after he learns that he can travel through time. He's like, it'll
it's
always be
time
about love
teleporting.
for me. And I guess that's what the movie is about. It's
Yeah.
about him falling in love with Rachel McAdams' character
Uh-huh.
and him loving his family and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess
I
that's
can see you rolling your
true.
eyes when he said that, though.
Oh, there were so many scenes where I was rolling my eyes
Uh-huh.
or actively cringing. Yeah,
Yeah. My argument to that, though, is that I think it's part that movie. It is part trying to be. He's a very cheesy guy to choose
right.
that as his goal to go find a
Right.
girlfriend.
He's
time traveling.
He's a hopeless
abilities?
romantic,
Yeah.
That's what he's always wanted. And
Yeah. So I found all of that mostly endearing.
I get that it's it's sort of endearing, but he's also kind of a creep in a lot of the movie.
Yeah. There's been recently people have been talking about that rom-coms are actually very creepy. If somebody did that in real life, chased after somebody in the middle of the street trying to get their phone number or stalking them because they know where they work and junk like that, that's in rom-coms.
Yeah, I was thinking about that a lot actually while I was watching this movie. That like a lot of the things he's doing. That I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she was like, "Oh, isn't this so cute?" She was like, I could like hear her brain squealing with glee. And I was like, "This is so creepy." Like, and like this movie is not even that bad about it.
It's pretty tame compared to a lot of stuff.
It's not like in like Love Actually where he shows up with like a poster board or something and like goes through these
cards to seduce
someone else's
wife of his best friend.
Right? Yeah, that's like mega creepy. But like even in this one,
where the prime minister stalks one of his staff members.
Right, exactly. That movie is a whole host of
same director though.
Yeah. I have his IMDb open, but like, there's like so many things where it's just like this is so creepy. Like when he, so he meets Rachel McAdams
in the dark, which I really enjoyed. That I thought that was a fun sort of reversal of.
Indeed. It was not a love at first sight, really,
it was
because they could not
conversation.
See. Right.
Which I think that was kind of a fun little subversion of the genre.
It was. But anyways, he meets her and he gets her number because they have this very charming back and forth or whatever. And then he has to time travel to help his roommate out, and it erases that because he never was at the restaurant with his friend. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then he realizes that there's an art showing for
Kate Moss,
and he sits in the art showing for like a week or whatever.
Unclear how much time. I like to imagine that it was a full month, however long that show was.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it could have been a weekend, or it could have been. I had to have at least been a week, but because of some other dialogue. But anyways, he finally sees her there, and he goes up, and like. The scene is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's like, he like pokes at her awkwardly, like in the back.
Didn't find that
funny. That was just like he has the upper hand in this encounter because he knows that she was charmed by him before.
Yeah, but
and
that's
then he
how
just
timid
needs to not be a creep.
But that's how timid and like what a weirdo he is that he doesn't even when he has the upper hand, he ruins it by just being a weirdo.
Right, but that's not like I don't know. For me, that wasn't endearing. Like I think like in real life, like that person would have thought, "Oh God, this guy is like stalking me somehow." Like via social media or whatever.
Yeah, she is written to not be intimidated or scared by some of his very strange antics.
Yeah,
which I definitely agree with that. In the real world, super creepy, very inappropriate.
Right.
But also he time travels, so it like breaks.
Right, but I mean, like, so this time travel in this movie, and I actually have a note here after they introduce the time travel, and it's very loose rules, and so I wrote time travel, and I started writing, like, I was gonna write the rules and stuff, and like, talk about like inconsistencies, and then I realized the movie doesn't care, so then I wrote, don't think too hard about it, and I think like. I don't think any of it makes sense. They introduced some rules.
No, it mostly makes sense, but it's not overly complicated, and the plot doesn't revolve around the timey-wiminess of it all, which is like, having watched a lot of sci-fi, I enjoy this little tiny bit of sci-fi a lot because it could go really deep into the sci-fi nature of it, and it just gets confusing, especially with time travel.
Right.
And it's harder to do that wrong than to do something else right and just use your whatever the sci-fi conceit is, like, aliens land on the planet. Like, you're not just make it a survival story, like, can't really think of any examples. I Am Legend. I just saw that I Am Legend is on Netflix. And so it's like, aliens, I mean, not aliens, but vampires or whatever take over the world. And it's just about Will Smith and his dog. Can they survive? And it's a better movie because it tries to be that type of survival movie rather than a, like, where did these vampires come from? What are these things that are happening? And that's what I enjoy about this, is that the time travel really takes a back seat to this guy has time travel abilities and he wants to accomplish something, which I think is, so he says that he wants to find love, but I think he just really wants to be the best person he can be.
I guess. I
You
don't
know,
know.
having like an infinite amount of choices, basically.
Sure.
He wants to try to make the best choice every day, which is like kind of the moral at the end of the story.
Yeah. It's sort of like I think he learns to, do the best he can with his life pretty much.
Yeah, and to the point of that the time travel doesn't really have any rules. I think it's better that it doesn't explain any of those rules
for
than
sure,
it explains
for sure.
some and then like breaks them in some way.
Yeah, it doesn't care too much about like logistically. Like he like goes into a small dark area and closes his eyes and squeezes his fists, and then he thinks really hard, and then he goes back to that moment, and it's like, but he was in a different place. No, he wasn't in the closet. But he always
travels whatever closet he's in.
Right, he always travels to whatever closet he's in, but he wasn't there.
Yeah,
before.
How he teleports.
Right. So like,
does he like just shut his brain off in that 5 minutes in whichever room he was in the past he's traveling to, and his body like robotically moves?
Right. Yeah. Like he might have been like talking to someone, and then
it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. So yeah, you can't think too hard about it. No, I don't think the writers did. They didn't care, and I don't care either.
He definitely didn't care.
So it's
tell this fun little story.
Right. It's a funnish little story, and it is.
What do you think about? I felt like this type of time travel led to interesting editing. Like there are a couple of fun editing. The one key one was when he goes to see his dad for the last time. He walks down that hallway and then he walks back out in a different outfit. I thought that was really clever and appropriate for that particular time. You don't want to have the whole whooshing and the moving pictures and stuff. So there are some fun edits like that, or like he's just walking away from somebody and you hear the noise. And I just really enjoyed those.
Just do the whole thing, and you didn't want it to be too overt. Yeah,
and it was kind of funnier that way. If you're just like, oh, yep, he fucked this up, and now we're gonna hear that rushing sound, and he's gonna go.
And he's gonna try it again.
Not mess it
Take 2. I mean, in a lot of ways, this movie reminds me of Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah,
with Bill Murray.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I'm not the first person to make that comparison. Because have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Or not? Okay. Yeah. You know, he's repeating Groundhog Day over and over again. And
and instead of this being purgatory, it's more like
it's not
gift,
like
as opposed to a punishment to be a good. Because he starts out as a bad person,
right, and then learns to be
and I think Tim starts as a pretty decent person.
Tim starts as like a kind of creepy but good intentioned person, I suppose.
Yeah, not malicious though. He's never malicious in what he does.
No, he never really. I mean, is it creepy that he... I think it's kind of creepy that he is trying to... He confesses his love to Margot Robbie in the first part of the movie. And then she's like, maybe if you had said this not on the last day, and then he immediately goes back in time to try it earlier in the summer.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't work.
Still doesn't work because
she
still doesn't want to be with him.
Because she doesn't want to be with him. And I don't know.
I don't know, but I mean that wraps back around when he sees her again, and then he realizes that
he doesn't want to be with her.
She's more interested in the chase and the banter, than like actually trying to make it work together.
Or just she's not that interested in him.
She's kind of like oh man, what's his face? Kat's boyfriend, the dickhead.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Like she could have been that for Tim.
Right.
Just the kind of fun, hot person who's fun and hot, but there's nothing inside. Yes. Oh yeah. Also, this is an early Margot Robbie role.
I think it's her first, right?
Yeah. I mean, she was
feature, I guess maybe.
Yeah, her first feature. She was in a show before this that I randomly watched. Pan Am, based on the Pan Am airplane company. She was good in that. It was a weird show. That was one of those shows, which is how I also got into The Office, that iTunes released free episodes of. But for Pan Am, they released 9 episodes for free, just out of nowhere. And so I watched them all, but then no more, because it wasn't that good of a show. Yeah, she's good though.
She's fine. She's a very attractive person. That's kind of the role she plays in this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Yeah, I think yeah, this movie.
Did you find it funny at least at some
Of
points?
course, parts of it are very funny, and
Yeah.
parts of it are very uncomfortable, and they're
like
I thought I thought when he meets Rachel McAdams' parents for the first time, that was a very funny scene.
That was great. That was another fun use of the editing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think my biggest problem with this movie is that there is not like really a narrative through line throughout the movie. It's just sort of meandering along, and that's not like inherently a problem, and it works well for this movie. It just, I find it hard to stay engaged or interested when there's not something for me to like think about really.
Yeah, and it's a bit too long too.
Oh yeah,
it is 2 hours.
It's a very long rom-com.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And what I realized is that why it's so long is because there's like a half hour to 15 minutes to half hour chunk of when he tries to fix Kat's life.
Mm-hmm.
That like feels like a weird change of pace. That like that doesn't actually fit into this movie really because it has been so kind of
right. It's like
lackadaisical.
Yeah, it's just sort of like it was important, I guess, because it set up the like you can't go too far back because
and also the futility of trying to
fix everything.
Right.
Yeah. So I think there was one thing that I thought was interesting is that he goes back in time to try to fix Kat's life, and in doing so, he deletes his daughter and replaces it with a son.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, nope, don't want this kid.
Yeah.
So then
he looked truly horrified when he saw that child, like it was like a goblin or something.
Right. But the thing is, though, is that like logically,
he would remember having that son instead of remembering having a daughter.
No, not even that. Just like for everyone else in this timeline that he created that, no longer exists or whatever. And
he murdered all those people.
He murdered all those people. He murdered that kid.
Yeah.
He murdered his son because he had already been attached to his daughter. And so like I was thinking, he's like, how does that work?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't quite get it.
Yeah.
And like again, it's like don't think too hard about it.
Yeah, it's not about that bit of the because you could make a movie about that you accidentally erase a bunch of people and then you spend the entire movie
trying to unerase them.
Yeah,
or whatever. And like, I think there's like some episodes of the Flash that kind of run into that problem where did you ever watch that show, the CW?
Yeah, I
Flash?
watched 2 seasons.
I think in the third season is when he like really gets into the time
doesn't
travel.
he flash point it at the end of season 2?
I believe so. Yeah. Anyways, they
So, but then that's my problem. That was my problem with the Flash is that the Flash got so bogged down in that, and they're like, look at all these alternate timelines and worlds and all this junk,
and really no one cares.
That's fun sometimes, but as a different, just as something else. I think this not being about that is a little bit more fun. And also the idea that this family is the only family in the universe that can time travel and it's going to die because he has all daughters.
Yeah, it's true.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just I have a lot of fun with this movie, and I don't begrudge anybody not having fun with it. I really like Donald Gleason. I really like Rachel McAdams. I think Rachel McAdams is a very underrated comedy actor. I think she's great. Like Mean Girls, she's really good. Like anything she's been in. Doctor Strange, she was a good comedic foil. Yeah. I don't know. I really like her. Bill Nighy's in this.
Yep.
Bill Nighy's great. Do you know that Bill Nighy has a condition? It's called Diripatrens contracture / disease. I forgot. I looked up how to pronounce that.
I did not.
But anyways, the last 2 fingers on his hand are always clenched.
Oh.
And now that is all I can see whenever he's on screen.
It's like looking for his hand to see if it's clenched or not.
And it always is. He's got like a little Yoda hand, basically.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a fun little detail.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have any other thoughts.
What about the musical choices?
Oh, that
some
bothered
pretty great
me.
music in this.
Didn't like
it.
I didn't like how they kept going back to that one theme. Whenever
the Ben Folds theme, the piano.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, that bothered me. They just kept going back to it.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
I
a good
understand.
theme.
It's their theme. I understand.
Yeah.
That it like creates like a
Because
thing.
he's the luckiest,
Right.
which is the name of that song.
Sure. I don't know.
Oh,
It just felt very on the nose.
Really not on board for this. Do you feel like it was just this viewing that you weren't on board, or do you think you would never be in the mood for this type of movie?
I mean,
or do you subscribe to that theory that sometimes you just need to be?
Oh, for sure, you need to be in the right
headspace?
mood, in the right headspace for different types of movies. I'm not sure. I mean, I just don't. Like I said, I just don't love rom-coms.
Yeah.
I feel like I spent 2/3, 3/4 of this movie waiting for someone to die because there needed to. I felt like in the movie there needed to be something that happens.
Yeah.
Because like it can't always go well, right? And so the thing with like this time travel, right, is that whenever anything starts to go poorly, he can be like, and then reset.
Yeah, there's
right?
very light conflict. That
Right.
So all the times that he does go back, like when he meets Rachel McAdams, and
Right.
then he's like, "Oh no, I gotta go save my friend."
Mm-hmm.
Like he saves his friend, but then he doesn't like, waffle on between the two choices that he's just made. He's just like,
Right.
"No, I'm just gonna help my friend," which I found admirable of him.
Sure.
That he would choose that
Sure.
relationship, which I think might be the. I mean, I feel like that writer guy, if that had happened, he might have killed himself.
Yeah, he seemed like he was in a pretty bad place there.
Very depressed and sad. But yeah, so I like that he made that choice.
Yeah.
Which is a very non-rom-com-y choice.
But like ultimately does it matter because he can go back in time. So he has all the time in the world to.
But what it illustrates is that he has to sometimes it is
Right.
an A or a B choice.
Sure. Yeah.
And that he can't have it all ways.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it doesn't hammer that home, but
because it's not really about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just. I was waiting the whole movie for some drama to kick in, and like the problem with the premise of time travel is that most times drama is based off of a misunderstanding, or someone gets sick and dies. And that's like creates the conflict that the movie is sort of based around. And in this movie, the first option of misunderstandings can't really happen because he can just keep trying again and again. He can, Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day until it gets exactly perfect.
Yeah.
And or good enough, right? It's to the point where he's satisfied with it.
Yeah.
And so really only like death, like the inevitable death of someone is the only thing that can like, really create drama of any way. And
that as he has this next kid, he can't go back and see his dad anymore.
Sure.
That's a bummer. But it's not conflict really.
Right. But it is like a thing that's happening in the movie.
And
a lot of it, like there was a very long montage of him and Rachel McAdams going down to the subway and then going to work.
That. You didn't love that? That wasn't fun to you?
I mean, it was fine. It was whimsical and it was endearing, but at the same time, it's like this is not a thing that's happening. This is not. I mean, they're falling in love, I guess. Like, I just don't really care.
Okay.
I think that's the problem. Is that like, because like I think this movie would have been more interesting if there was something in their relationship that he couldn't fix.
Yeah.
With the time travel, and so like they have this. Because nothing can go wrong, that there's not going to be a problem, right? And so, there's no drama.
Yeah.
I guess.
There's no high drama.
Right.
It's a very low stakes, low key drama.
Right. And so, that just doesn't like captivate my interest all that much.
Okay. Yeah. You want big melodrama.
No, I don't necessarily want big melodrama, but I think this movie would have been more interesting for me, and it would have been a vastly different movie, and everyone would have hated it because it would have been a much more downer movie.
I mean, I don't know that many people love it right now.
Sure. Well, anyone who would like it wouldn't like it now. If his relationship with Rachel McAdams just couldn't work.
Yeah.
Like he kept trying and kept trying. Yeah, it just wouldn't work.
But I mean that's the whole Margot Robbie angle, is that he sees that he could have been in that type of relationship,
right?
And he actively chooses not to be in one of those.
I guess, but she was never interested in him, right? So there's never like
at the end she was, yeah. I mean, the last time
she's like sort of interested because he's acting like aloof or whatever, and he's not like pining. So then she's like, oh, he's kind of cute or whatever. But like, I just don't buy like her interactions there as her being like genuinely interested in him completely.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
which is what you got from Rachel McAdams when they meet in the dinner scene.
Yeah,
like they have a much more.
But I mean, that would have been
back and forth.
That would have been an interesting drama too.
Clear.
I mean, that would have been Groundhog Day-y if.
Right, maybe I just wanted it to be Groundhog Day.
Yeah. I mean, because Bill Murray likes
whatever
Andie MacDowell.
Yeah,
I don't remember her character's name.
I don't remember her character's name either. She's the producer,
but he's the one who pursues her, and
right.
It's all about that sort of capturing.
Right, and so the thing with that is that Bill Murray in that movie realizes that he can't be like actively pursuing her in order to ultimately capture her, I guess.
Yeah, he just needs to be a better person.
Right.
And Donald Gleason starts as a good person,
right.
And he just
which is why I think it would be interesting.
Tries to be a little bit better.
Yeah. If like Rachel McAdams was interested in him, but like, the real life like issues and problems that people run into every day, like, constantly was just too much. And it's just never quite made it work, no matter how many times they reset.
Yeah, I could see that movie, but I feel like this
is a very
counterpoint to that in that he, again, the whole lesson at the end that he learns is to live each day like you're choosing to live, how you want to live, which I think is a kind of weirdly profound way to approach the world, which is, I mean, we can do that, and you can just be okay with whatever choices you make, however stuff, ends up. Just the most mundane things don't have to, wreck your entire life. I don't know. I thought that was an interesting point to make, and again, a very small stakes movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And I enjoyed that approach, I guess. I don't know. I just find this movie endlessly charming. Like, I haven't watched it in a few years.
Yeah, there was a lot of very cute moments.
Yeah.
And a lot of very uncomfortable moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you still have things to talk about?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
Let me check my notes.
Go
there's some great lines in here. When they're talking about the record by Jimmy Fontana, the greatest record ever recorded by an Italian who looks like he's got a dead badger on his head. Pretty great. Or when the kid is getting presents, Rory, who I also really enjoyed, Rory's whole just being a real dum-dum.
Well, that's like both of his friends. Both of his friends were like lovable goobers.
Yeah. Rory was like just inept, though.
Yeah.
And the other one was more just like kind of a douche.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Rory says he heard never bring a present smaller than the child, and then we swing to see the grumpy playwright guy.
He
says,
a good
shut
bit.
up, you smug bastard.
That was a good bit, yeah.
And then Queen Marjorie, I mean, not Queen Marjorie, Princess Margaret, hang on. That would be Vanessa Kirby. You don't watch The Crown?
No.
Okay. She plays Princess Margaret, the Queen's sister. Yeah, she has a great quip. She says, don't worry, I didn't bring anything at all. She'll never know. She hasn't got a brain yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
So much fun.
That was, there's fun moments in this movie. Ultimately, it's just not a movie it's just not a movie for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think I can get whimsical enough to truly like fall in love with the meandering sort of like British fairy tale-esque.
Also very indie movie too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed that. I also like that like nobody's seen it. I find that fun.
Yeah, I mean, I distinctly remember watching the trailer in a movie theater, but I guess that doesn't mean anyone saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a very high score on IMDb, but it might just
Yeah, it's
be
pretty
you
well
and all your
regarded.
alt accounts. So
I suppose it's me and Jason Mantzoukas.
yeah,
Big fans.
Yep.
Uh,
Classic.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Anyways, do you wanna give a number score?
Yeah, this is a 10 for me.
Okay. Yeah. I'll choose not to slap a number on it, just because I don't think this
Why?
movie was really
Just put I really don't care.
No,
what
it's not
you
about
rate it.
it's not about like offending you or anything. I just don't
Okay.
think like this movie is a movie that, I mean, objectively it's like, I mean, it's a well-made film. Like, it's just not like a movie that I fully enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's like a 5, I guess.
Okay.
And like it's like difficult to give it a 5, I feel like, because the performances are really good, and like
I think
there is a lot of fun.
It looks really
editing.
good. I think it's well shot.
Yes, there was a couple scenes where they're clearly using like handhelds.
Yeah.
I
enjoyed that. I like that it
bothers me.
You didn't like that?
No, there's a specific scene. I think when he's first being explained that he can have time travel powers, where it's very shaky, and like.
Okay.
And that scene really bothered me, like that particular moment, because it's like it's not all handheld. You know, if it was like a Mark Duplass movie and they're like constant handhelds, and like they just don't have a tripod or a monopod.
Yeah.
But like this one, like there are a lot of very steady shots, and then there's like that one shot that was very shaky.
Okay.
And I don't know. But I mean, other than that, like I think the editing was really good. I think like that, the montage of them going down in the subway, that is made more fun by the music. It's like, this guy performing the same song for just months on end.
Yeah.
Just kind of continuously.
Really. That's the fun of movie making.
Right. But they're hearing the music and we're hearing the music, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately I was getting bored, and that's not really So yeah.
All right.
That's why I don't want to like, because like I have to enjoy a movie to really like it, and to like give it a higher score. And so like,
yeah, I mean,
objectively, yeah.
Enjoyment's certainly a part of rating something, but also like
it just feels bad because this movie's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy it. So
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean that's why I thought it was an interesting choice, because I think it is a well put together movie of a different type of movie, however.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh wait, one more thing.
Yeah.
Do you wanna talk about Us? Jordan Peele's Us for like a couple minutes?
Yeah, let's do that, because we've run out of topics to talk about for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So spoilers for Us. We'll give you.
Yeah, we'll just talk like for like 5
seconds.
minutes. We'll just give like just brief thoughts.
Yeah.
This movie, Us, was Jordan Peele's second film, second feature. The first being Get Out, of course. And I think we shouldn't spoil it. I don't think anyone who listens to this, if anyone actually listens to this and has made it 34 minutes in, has probably already seen.
I don't know how to talk about it without spoiling it, though.
I think we should just give just like vague feelings. Just give feelings, Jared.
Okay. I would say it's grown on me a little bit.
It's grown on you a little bit. You said when we left the theater, I think I remember you saying you liked it more than Get Out. Is that true?
I liked it less than Get Out.
Less than Get Out, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Adam who said that you liked it. I don't know.
Adam hasn't seen Get Out.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe I said I liked it more than Get Out. I don't think so, though.
No.
I mean, ultimately, yeah. I think Us is a very solid movie.
Yeah.
It has very good atmosphere.
Again, well put together.
Movie.
And in this case, I'm not a fan of the horror
genre.
Yeah.
In general.
And that it didn't lose points for me, but none of that resonated with me.
For sure.
So I wasn't like, having fun with that. These are kind of horror tropes that are being played out and subverted, and
Yeah, I mean, I think as a horror movie, though, Us does a really good job of like balancing humor. And I think like in a lot of classic horror movies, there's not a ton of humor.
It's either very humorous and like jokey and they're like Scooby-Doo type stuff, or it's very serious.
Or like Cabin in the Woods, or they're like kind of making fun of the movie that they're in.
Yeah, like not even satire, but not parody, but
it's sort of parody, but not really. But
there's another one that I'm thinking of, not send up, spoof, like spoofy type,
right?
Like Scary Movie or whatever, which I haven't seen,
right?
But and then I don't really enjoy horror, but I like this trend that I think has been happening in horror, which is the pivot towards kind of taking horror seriously, like The Witch, another movie that I think is very well put together. I just didn't
enjoy.
Yeah, resonate with me really on any level other than, oh, that's cool how they did that, and these are interesting points that they're trying to make. I feel like Us resonated a little bit more because I've just been kind of thinking about what it might mean, because it's a little bit, it's ambiguous to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think, with Get Out, there was a clear message that that Jordan Peele wanted to share.
Yeah.
And this one, and with Us, it's much more ambiguous. It's like there's a bunch of messages that you can take from it, but none of them really are the ones that I need people to understand.
Yeah. Which is, why I enjoy genres, whatever genre that is. If they are done well, they are an exploration of some part of the human experience, usually the psyche or, in that nature of humans stretched to a very particular limit or put in a very particular spot.
Right.
And I think Us did that in a very interesting way.
Yeah, I agree.
Performances were again great.
Yeah, I think
Lupita Nyong'o was just like
unbelievably good.
Yeah.
That's some Oscar-worthy shit right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's I like to call it Maslany level double acting.
Oh, sure.
Tatiana Maslany. Because I legit, did you watch Orphan Black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of it, not all of it.
Because I legit forgot that she was all of those people sometimes between some of them. Like, yeah. So this was the same, like totally different characters, which is like such a cool little acting trick that people can, or skill. I mean, it's not a trick.
Yeah.
Really. But yeah.
Yeah.
And the main guy is great. He's from, I know him from Person of Interest, but he was in Black Panther.
Oh, yeah. He was in Black Panther.
Yeah.
That's right.
But, M'Baku.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're great. The kids were great.
Kids were unbelievably great.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
It looked good.
Looked great. Score was great.
Yeah.
I've been listening to, I got 5 on it.
Yeah.
Like on repeat.
That wasn't written for that movie?
No. That's an old song.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you not a Ben Folds fan?
I don't know. He's fine.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't really get hyped about like individual people.
Okay. So, but in About Time, you didn't like any. Did you just not like that it was so repetitive?
I didn't like how it was so repetitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just kept doing it.
Yeah, you like pretty minimal scores, anyways, right?
It depends on the movie. Yeah. I mean, I think like obviously for like Lord of the Rings, that like orchestral like full thing is
fitting.
It's all part of it, and you kind of need that. Like high fantasy, you need that. I think for like a thriller, can go either way. It really just depends on what the movie is trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I love me some John Carpenter themes though. Which will be our next movie.
Yeah. Next we're doing The Thing.
Yeah, I chose it. I'm guessing that. Well, assuming
this
we all
is
watch
for
it.
This is for Movie Group and also for
our
this
podcast. So I'm assuming that no one watches it besides the people that watch it with us.
Yeah,
you and I. Because I think Sophie will get to a particular scene and then decide this is enough for her, and then she'll take Craig with her. Even though I'm sure Craig would have loved it.
I don't know that Craig would love it.
I don't know. I actually have no idea how Craig.
He would watch it for sure, but
yeah, the thing is like, I don't know how Craig feels about horror movies in general. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think he's a huge fan.
Probably not.
He's not a big horror head.
It's not really horror. That it's not like
what other could it be anything other than
horror? But it's not like what's more horrifying, I would say, as opposed to like
what horror is.
No. Okay, sure. Okay, but I guess we'll talk about this later. But like Us versus The Thing, they're both horror movies, and one is horrifying in a vastly different way, right? And so like Us is a lot of like you're fearful for like the characters' lives and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you're not in The Thing?
I mean, Kurt Russell's just such a badass. Like, he's just so great.
That I'm just rolling my eyes so hard right now. I think you can hear it on mic.
Probably. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But anyways, Us is a great movie.
Mm-hmm. About Time's not bad either.
About Time is not bad. No, if you like rom-coms, this is a very solid rom-com.
Yeah, I would say it's far above average in the rom-com department, which is like, I mean, that's the one, again, that I like horror movies are getting better. Mm-hmm. That's great. I like that all movies kind of seem like they're getting better. Like generally.
Sure.
That are successful. Like I like that Us was a good movie that was successful, and that was a genre film.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. About Time is an above average rom-com. It's probably one of the better rom-coms I've seen, definitely recently.
Yeah. Probably the rom-com with the greatest percentage of gingers as major characters. They're 2 whole gingers.
Yeah, that's true.
And then his daughter later.
Yeah.
3 whole gingers.
2.5, really.
Yeah.
The daughter is a children.
Yep.
But yeah. Okay.
All right.
Go watch Us. Go watch About Time if you want to.
Yeah.
And like rom-coms.
Right.
I would say Us is a film that everyone will enjoy.
I don't think
not really.
so.
No.
I think more people would like About Time. More average people.
No.
What?
No.
That you seriously? You think more people would like Us than would like About Time?
I had a lot of fun watching Us, and I had a medium amount of fun.
Yeah, but I'm not asking about you.
Sure, but I think that everyone in our theater also had an above average time.
Because they all specifically went to go watch that movie. That's how
fair.
Theaters work.
That's fair.
I'm saying the general U.S. population, I think, would have a better time watching About Time than would watching Us.
Yeah, probably. I won't disagree with that. Okay, bye.
This is the battle I'm fighting, folks. This is the war I'm waging. This silly guy. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, everybody. Jared here. Just a reminder to subscribe and tell your friends about this show. We'd really appreciate it. And again, follow us on all the socials, which are in the description. It's How About Pod, at How About Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and howabouttpod@gmail.com.